Cisgender women get outraged when trans people call ourselves women, but men get furious when we call ourselves comedians. When I am confronted with homophobic and transphobic violence, that's a good one. Yeah. I respond to it by saying, this is not okay, and I love you. More. It's me, bitch. The way that I write comedy is as a poet. So I write comedy in stanzas. You should come. Living is the artistry. Hey, I'm Alok. I just flew into Paris. I'm here for my show tonight, kicking off my European tour. And we're on the way to do a fitting with my friend Louis. I'm a gender non-conforming poet and comedian. I've been touring for, over a decade, maybe like 12 years. I'm on tour with my new show, which is an hour of stand-up comedy. A lot of my work is about gender. I'm non-binary, and that means that I'm neither a man nor a woman, so much more than that. And what I try to use my art to do is to show people that many people think being non-binary or being gender non-conforming is ridiculous, but I actually think what's ridiculous is dividing billions of complex souls into one of two gender categories. And so comedy is a really exciting way to show people you think that I look like a joke, but the real joke is how obsessed you are with make-believe stories like gender.
You know, they're so upset with us saying that we keep on making up pronouns and genders and new words, and I just don't know how else to tell you this, but all words are made up.
Oh my God, so cute.
How are you?
Wow.
Look amazing.
Oh my God, you're in Paris.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it. Cool, what should I try on?
That's what we're trying to do.
Oh, is this like a sweater vest version?
Yes.
Wow. I really like wearing local designers. People can see like what the fashion scene is in the place. Yeah, let's try this one. Oh, this is so fun too. Wow. I mean, what's great about his clothes is that they fit every body. You can adjust them. I just think, why would you ever limit beauty to gender? People should just wear what they want to wear. And the problem is we live in a fashion system that divides clothes into men's and women's clothes, and so many people feel like they can't wear a dress or a skirt or makeup or something. Wow, this is fun. Because it's like too feminine or for women, and that's bullshit. Wow, this is so pretty. Thank you. I'll see you soon.
You tell me if you need anything.
Okay, yeah, I'll see you later. I feel so lucky to be able to travel as much as I have, because it's helped me understand that everything is particular. Very rarely are things universal. And that's especially the case around humor as well. I was nervous because of language differences. Some of the shows we had to have simultaneous interpretation. Some of the shows we had subtitles in the background. I tried to find trans interpreters in each place, or trans translators, and discuss like what would be funny in this culture. What is an expression in Portuguese that's kind of like an expression in English?
On fait le sound check direct, Raphaël?
Okay, looks good. I'm wondering if it's like a little bit bright.
We stay with the blue?
Yeah, I'm okay with the blue. I feel like oftentimes gender nonconformity is only permissible when people see it as something that begins and ends, like something that's ephemeral. And in my own life, I began to realize how much safer it was for me to present myself on stage. But then I would wear the exact same outfit, the exact same makeup off stage, and have a very different reception. I feel like people are only tolerant of us, and that tolerance requires a distance. And the stage becomes that kind of distance. I put on a dress and turn into that photo of my grandmother in her 20s, turns into what if I tell her who I am, turns into leaving the house, turns into getting on a train, turns into a man pointing, turns into his questions, turns into his disgust, turns into him spitting on me, turns into an entire train laughing and doing nothing, turns into there's nowhere to escape in a moving train, turns into a beating heart, turns into running out of the next stop, turns into running to my grandmother's apartment, turns into her telling me that I dress this way to draw attention to myself, turns into her blaming me for my own violence, turns into me sometimes believing her, turns into gifting her man for her birthday. Look how carefully we document all of the violence that has been done to us in the name of gender. I started writing poetry when I was maybe 12 years old, and I was writing myself into existence. So a lot of my poems are very dark. They're about suicide, death, trauma, loneliness, which honestly I love because I'm ready to cry all the time. But that's not the case for everyone. So then sometimes to introduce the poem, I would start just riffing. And then eventually the riffing, I started to have more fun than actually doing the poems because the riffing was more spontaneous. But the way that I write comedy is as a poet. So I write comedy in stanzas. And the way that I construct the joke is poetic. What I'm finding is that a lot of poetry that I'm composing now is less written and more just verbal. I just speak it aloud and I see what happens. Today a man on the street pointed to me and said, "What the hell is that?" I wanted to turn around and tell him that I got this dress on sale and I got this body for free. But you have been making me pay for both ever since. Where people, when they hear poetry, are like, oh, I don't want that, or that's not me. I think they only think of poetry as like Shakespeare or something that's like too intellectual or convoluted. Whereas comedy is understood as more accessible.
More?
More. It's me, bitch, come on. You don't have to do nice, straight girl. You can give me full drama. I've had multiple people tell me like, oh, you're too smart to be doing comedy, which is so irritating because comedy can be intellectual. And in fact, I actually find comedy to be extremely academically challenging to me because I'm like, what is the perfect word? What is the perfect turn of phrase to help this particular concept land?
Wow. It's cool.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Je fais la première partie d'Alok et je suis un humoriste trans non-binaire, donc pour moi c'est hyper important. C'est quelqu'un qui a la capacité de t'apprendre des choses et de se moquer de l'hétéronormativité ou des oppressions. Et du coup je suis trop contente.
Alok has been a huge inspiration to me since even before I knew them. I think they inspire all sorts of gender non-conforming and trans people all over the world.
I thought I was gonna get, but I'm down for it. Because you all sort of get like activist, teacher, author Alok, and I get let's get high and play Mario Kart Alok. So without further ado, let's give it up for your headliner and my good friend, Alok!
One casting director told me that I should just remove all of my body hair. I love it when men accuse trans people of being against the order of nature and then tell us to shave. It's like a pro-lifer sending a death threat. What's remained unattended to in our culture is that when we dispose of one homophobic or transphobic person, that does nothing to end a culture of homophobia and transphobia. I understand that those individuals have learned lessons from school, from society, from media, from fashion, from beauty, from advertising. Let me take on those systems. Sometimes when I look in the mirror, I get scared of my own reflection. So I wipe off my makeup, I detransition into being a man, I get married actually. And then I make a burner social media account with no profile picture, and I comment slurs on trans people's Instagrams. Sorry, I was just trying to sprinkle my comedy with material that men could see themselves in. So when I am confronted with homophobic and transphobic violence, I respond to it by saying, this is not okay, and I love you. I think that this is not okay is often not understood as part of compassion. I'm not condoning this behavior. I'm not saying that this behavior is permissible. But what I am saying is that I know that this behavior is also hurting you. People who spend all of their time fixated on hating other people are actually telling us that they don't think that their lives are worth leisure, peace, stability. I, in fact, love these people who hate me. I'm not just saying that rhetorically. I love them because I see myself in them. I love them because I believe that human life is precious. I've done conversion therapy on my rainbow hair, gone back to black, as Amy would say. The way that we combated transphobia is by saying that trans people are sacred, but it's just another form of burial. It's just this time it's in the sky. It's like trans people belong in the clouds or under the ground, not next to you. And I think we grow up in a culture being taught that we have to do something, be something in order to be worthy of love. And as trans people, we felt like we have to be exceptional. We should be able to have a space in this world, even if we're not revolutionary, even if we're mediocre and anodyne. And I think we've internalized exceptionalism because we still don't accept ourselves. We have to say that we're the best, the most articulate, the most clever, the most cunning. I want us to enter a new era of trans mediocrity, of trans ordinariness. Thanks so much, everyone.